Hey guys, welcome into my review for the Live Alive demo. This is a demo that is released for the Live Alive remake that is releasing on July 22nd. I played through it. I played through all three of the character scenarios that are available. I am also somebody who has played through the original Live Alive. Now, my goal in this review is to talk about what is improved in the remake and the new features in the remake and what I thought of the demo overall. So let's go ahead, let's get right into it, what has changed with the Live Alive remake based on what I played in the demo. So first off, one of the big changes, of course, is the graphical upgrade. The game is now in a 2D HD art style, so the graphics have been massively improved from the Super Nintendo original. Not only have the graphics been improved, but the production value in other regards has been improved. For the storytelling in the game, the dialogue now has voice acting and is mostly voice acted. In addition to all that, when you're exploring around, you also now have a mini map that you can look at as you're traveling through areas. During battles, you can now see an explanation that explains what each move does in battle, which is a major improvement because you can now see if a move does low damage, medium damage, high damage, if it hits with any additional status effects. It is a lot better than the original Super Nintendo version in that regard. In the original Super Nintendo version, when you looked at a move, it didn't tell you what the move did or anything about it. Another improvement over the Super Nintendo original when it comes to battling is that you can now see the ATB gauge for yourself and for enemies. In the original, you couldn't see the ATB gauge even though it was there, and so you never really knew whose turn was coming up next. Now in the remake, you can kind of predict whose turn is going to come up next by looking at the ATB gauges, and you can also keep track of if you're able to get multiple turns, because sometimes that can happen in battles. You can get 2 turns before an enemy gets 1 turn. So this is definitely another big improvement for the battles. Overall, I can tell you for sure that the remake has a lot of quality of life improvements that really improve it over the original version on the Super Nintendo. So the remake does a lot of good things so far based on what I played during my time with the demo. Now, during the remake, you have 3 character scenarios you can choose from. One is where you play as a ninja and you can either sneak through the mission and try to avoid a lot of battles, or you can also fight a lot of battles. It all depends on the player's decision. Another one is where you play as a martial artist who finds students to train under him. And then the third mission has you playing as a robot in a sci-fi futuristic setting. It's a very story-based scenario with pretty much no battles whatsoever, which could be very controversial. And again, I can't speak for anybody but myself, but I think a lot of people are not going to like the sci-fi mission because it's basically 30 to 40 minutes of pure storyline cutscenes and no battling whatsoever as far as the story goes. One thing that is very important to know about the missions and the scenarios in the game is that each character scenario is not played to the end in the demo, but your progress carries over from the demo to the full game. So basically, each character scenario ends at about the halfway point in the scenario. The character scenarios are not that long. Each one in the game for the full length of the scenario will take about an hour to 3 hours max. Most of the character scenarios on Live Alive are very short and they're not that long. Seeing as how you play about half of each character scenario in each full one, if you do it from start to finish, the entire scenario in the actual Super Nintendo original, it takes about an hour to 3 hours. You're really going to be spending about maybe 30 minutes to an hour and a half max on each character scenario. My recommendation is going to be to start with the martial artist scenario. I think it's the easiest, but unfortunately I think it ends too early, and I think the second half of that scenario is when it gets really good. The ninja scenario is the best of the 3 in my opinion, but it's also the hardest. It has the most variety of the 3 missions, and it has the most challenge, and it has the most depth to it of the 3 character scenarios. I would save that one for last. And then the cube scenario, which is the sci-fi one where you play as the robot cube and it's mostly story. That one is pretty much one you can pick at any time. It's just pure story. And again, most people are probably not going to like that character scenario because it's very story based. And unfortunately, it kind of has the problem where the martial artist one does, where it kind of ends before the second half, which is when the story in that scenario starts to get really interesting and the crazy plot twists and everything start to happen in that scenario. As far as the battling goes in the Live Alive remake demo, I think that the battling is above average. The battle system definitely stands out from other RPGs. Positioning matters. You can move around during battles. You can reposition your characters to avoid certain attacks or hit certain enemies. And I think the positioning in battle and the ability to move around in between turns really adds a lot more strategy and variety to the battles of the game. And I think that the battle system definitely has a lot of potential in the game. Now, can I recommend this game based on the demo? Personally, for me, as far as the recommendation goes, I don't want to recommend for the game or against the game until I play through the full game. When the game releases, I do plan to play it through from beginning to end. But either way, the Live Alive remake, based on the demo, I can tell you definitely improves over the original, which is a very good thing. I would highly recommend trying the demo out. The game releases on July 22nd. When the game releases, I'm going to be playing through it and doing a review, so keep an eye out for that. As always, though, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, follow me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Shockstorm. Over on the Twitch channel, I do Let's Plays of games where I play through from the beginning of the game to the end of the game with full commentary along the whole way. And then I do reviews and other videos based off of my playthroughs I do on Twitch. As always, a big thank you to everybody who watched the video. I really greatly appreciate it. Thank you all so much, and I will catch you all in the next video. Have a great day, everybody, and thank you all.